Okay, let's get into some new record albums. But first off, I went and saw the Queers the other night, and I got this poster that I got from the Dwarves, the Queers, Portland, Oregon, July 11th, 2014, and I got it autographed by Joe Queer, and it's also autographed by the Dwarves. Okay. Here's another poster that I got at the Dwarves, the Queers, in fabulous Ferndale, Michigan. And where is it? I had Joe Queer autograph it right there. And this one is also autographed by the Dwarves. All right, and here's a flyer from the front door of the Showcase Theater in fabulous Corona, California. This is the very first time I ever saw the Queers. It was October 3rd, can't remember what year, but it was the year the Don't Back Down album came out, and also Joe Queer autographed this relic for me that I've kept for many years. Alrighty, let's get into some new discos. This is, let's see if I can get it out of here without taking apart the whole package. This is the new No Means No repressing of the Dad 7-inch on Alternative Tentacles Records. Whoops. Here's the cover. Yeah, there's the front cover. And this is how I got it all put together, but the back isn't much to look at. But wow, this record is perfection. No Means No, Dad, B-Side Revenge. Alright, here is a tap dancing record that Mona Blea of Visalia, California sent me. And if you take this thing and you mess with it and you overlap it, it becomes very, very funny. Okay, let's get into some more records. This is a record I picked up at the Queer Show the other night, and this is a tribute to the Queers, with all kinds of bands on it, doing songs by the Queers, and it ain't bad. It's not bad. It was worth the $20 they were charging. That's what the record looks like. So if you're into the Queers, you might want to pick up the God Save the Queers tribute to the Queers. Okay, here's another one. And again, you got to speed this thing up in order to make it enjoyable. But once you do that, it becomes very enjoyable. This is Pray Along with Little Richard, I'll Never Walk Alone. The cover of the album is worth the price alone. And this is Little Richard, the creator of punk rock, doing just gospel songs. None of them I've ever heard of before. And I wouldn't want to hear them unless Little Richard is singing them. And that's all right. Okay, here is a Queers record that I got autographed at the show, and with this. And except for one flyer that I forgot to bring with me, everything I have of the Queers, the records, the flyers, they are 100% all autographed. That's no easy feat, even though Joe Queer, he'll sign an autograph. He doesn't care. Just buy him, I think, a Sprite. If you buy the guy a Sprite, he'll autograph whatever you want. He's very, very friendly, and that's another reason why I support the Queers completely. Anything they put out, I buy. All right, this is a record by a stand-up comedian, and his name is Shelley Berman. This is Inside Shelley Berman, so if you're into old 60s comedy, this guy, with his one-way phone call bit, kind of like Bob Newhart, although I think this guy did it first, Shelley Berman, it's pretty good. Especially the little bit about the woman hanging outside of the department store window. That one's great. Okay, here's another comedy record. This one is Moms Mabley live at Sing Sing. This is worth $5 if it's worth 1,000. That makes any sense anyway. This is really good, and this is Moms Mabley doing her stand-up act at the Sing Sing prison. And another great comedy record. This is Flip Wilson telling his little stories with righteous punchlines at the end of them. And anybody watching this should know Flip Wilson and should have his records. That's just a given. All right. Here's something I picked up in Ohio. This is the Electric Hellfire Club Burn Baby Burn. And this is like, it's like Ministry type stuff, but not as good. I think I paid $20 for this record. It's only worth about 10. So if you see this thing, it's worth about $10. It's a double LP. It's about as interesting as the art. That's what the records look like. Very pumpkin-like. And yeah, the Electric Hellfire Club, they're worth $10. They're not that big of a deal, but they kind of are interesting in a way. I took a chance on it, and they're okay. Not worth what I paid. Now this thing is worth what I paid. Here we go. This is Blank Blackout Vacant by Poison Idea. This is the deluxe copy of it. And this is a really, really good record if you're into the Poison Idea. I don't really describe the songs on this channel because you can go to YouTube and listen for yourself. I would describe what these songs sound like if there was no such thing as YouTube and yet you were still watching this video, which that'd be a trick. Anyway, Blank Blackout Vacant. If you see this in the record store and you're digging Poison Idea, you'll have no problem with this record, except for the second record, the side C and D. They're like recordings from radio station and like cover songs and stuff like that. It's okay, but it's nothing compared to the first disc. The first disc is a total rock out. Speaking of rocking out, let's go to Los Angeles, California. This is Yes, LA, and it's a compilation of early Los Angeles punk rock bands, The Bags, X, Eyes, Alley Cats, Germs, Black Randy. Every song on this thing is really good, except for the Black Randy one. The Down at the Laundromat song, I would have picked a different Black Randy song. But you got the Eyes doing Disneyland. That's a funky one. You got a version of No God by the Germs that is really good with Darby Crash's extended, I don't know, howl on it. Anyway, I'm sure this is a repressing. It's on Danger House and Frontier. And it's really, really good if you're into the early LA punk scene. All right, here we go. What's this? Ooh, this looks scary. This is The Deceased. I picked this up at their merch table when I went and seen them. And this is As the Weird Travel. And this is thrash metal. Interesting thrash metal. I don't know when this record came out. Doesn't matter. All that matters is the artwork is cool, dark, scary, and so is, I guess, the music. And they only wanted $15 for their records at their merch table. And I said, I'll pick up one. Why not? They're not being greedy. And when a band is not being greedy, definitely pull your wallet out and throw some money down. Just out of respect. Anyway, this thing comes with a righteous lyric sheet. And like I said, the songs are interesting. Just interesting thrash metal. And it sounds like what the album cover looks like. All right. Now here is a record by a Chicago punk band from a long, long time ago, back in the 70s. This is called Tutu and the Pirates. Suburban insult rock for the anti-lectual 1977-1979. Here's what the back looks like. Here's the inner sleeve and LP. And this one's and the other side of this is advertising a DVD about Chicago punk rock called You Weren't There. All right. This record has a song on it that is worth the price of the entire album, and this album's not expensive. It's a repressing, or it's not a first pressing, so you know it's kind of cheap. And what is that song? Maybe. And I'm going through. There's a lot of songs on this thing. What is Dead in Our Beds? That one's good. Delinquent Rat, that one's really good. Oh, here we go. This is it. I've Got Zits and Zombie Hordes. Side 2. Song 13 on the entire thing, but it's on side 2. The song I've Got Zits. Wow. What a catchy song. Damn it. I've Got Zits by Tutu and the Pirates. One of the funniest, most just kick-ass little punk songs you've ever heard. I'll repeat it. Tutu and the Pirates, I've Got Zits. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Punch it in. And I'm sure after hearing it, you'll be ordering the Suburban Insult Rock LP. And what record label puts this thing out? Because I think I got it right from the record label. In fact, I know I did. Factory Records. Yeah, I got it from Factory Records. Good for them for keeping the 1977-78 punk rock spirit alive. Okay, now I got one more record. And this is the Cougar Fight Songs, Football Songs, and Famous Marches by the Washington State University Marching Band. And the reason why I bought this thing is because it has the Washington State Fight Song on it. And that's the song that John Candy sang when he was tied to the pole in the movie Volunteers with Tom Hanks. He wasn't tied to the pole with Tom Hanks, but Tom Hanks was in that movie. Anyway, the only problem with this thing, it doesn't have the lyrics. So it's not like sing along time. It's just the music to the Washington State Fight Song. John Candy is singing the lyrics, and I can't find a recording of that song on vinyl with the lyrics to it. And I know there are lyrics because John Candy is singing them while he's tied to the pole and the Communist Army is trying to win him over. And they eventually do, I think in a matter of like less than a minute. Anyway, this is me and my obsession with SCTV. And that's a link. And that's the end of this video. I ran out of records. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, hey, I'm going to see Negative Approach on the 17th down at the Sanctuary in fabulous Hamtramck. Lucky me. Sometimes living in Detroit has its perks. What am I saying? It has its perks every day. I don't mind living in Detroit. Oh, hey, here's something that Mona Blea sent me. It's Nixon's The One. And it's a little record album of a speech by Richard Nixon. And I probably showed this before, but you could mail it. All right, that's the end. Go to Alternative Tentacles and pick this up. It's worth every penny.